Hi everyone, I'm Caitlin James from Scalp MicroPigmentation Australia, and welcome to another 5-minute fast facts on scalp micropigmentation, the Pro Artist series, where we're interviewing some amazing scalp micropigmentation artists from around the world, getting their tips and tricks on how you can get the best out of your scalp micropigmentation transformation. Today we have the very talented SMP artist who's been in the SMP industry since 2012, and he's known for his outstanding results. He was a finalist for the UK company and finalist for UK Trainer of the Year at the World Scalp MicroPigmentation Awards in Orlando, Florida 2019. He's worked alongside a hair transplant surgeon assisting clients camouflaging scarring, adding density to hairlines for the past 4 years in his SMP career. Today we were talking about creating natural looking results for clients with alopecia. We're speaking with a legend of the SMP industry. Today we're speaking with Daz Day. Welcome, Daz.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
No
really
worries.
Appreciate it.
Lovely. Thank you so much for taking the time out to have a chat with us. You're very experienced at scalp micropigmentation, and I know that you've treated so many clients over the years. So I thought you might be a great artist to speak to about our alopecia clients. Just quickly, when I did ask you to let me know about your sort of greatest achievements, you wrote back that one of your greatest achievements was your beautiful family. And just quickly tell us, how long have you been married for, Daz?
I actually put 32 years in the comments, but it's actually 31. Marie corrects me. So wishful thinking.
That's brilliant. You're so lucky. Well done. That's a big achievement.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
well,
beautiful.
How about you tell us about your hair loss story and how you came to have scalp micropigmentation yourself?
Yeah. I think like many of us, we start realizing that it's disappearing a little bit, and the old temples are going back a little bit. And I was only in my teens at the time, or then many years ago. And then I kind of thought, well, I've got to do something about this. So I very first, like I mentioned to you at the meeting of minds a few years ago, I went down the hair transplant route. And back in 1979, probably before you was here, actually, and I paid £500 for this hair transplant, and it still goes to this day. I must admit, but the scarring and everything was really bad, and the scarring's what they actually do now. The guys, the hair transplant surgeons now are fabulous, but back in the day when I had it, it didn't go too well. So I'd lived many, many years of people asking me what the scar was at the back of my head, what the indentations were at front of my head. So it kind of really affected me really hard. And I told so many lies to say what I'd actually not done, because I felt a fool kind of thing, So I think I put it down to Wayne Rooney, if I'm honest. It was all in the papers again that he was having an hair transplant and things like that, So I rang Harley Street up, thinking, well, he's got to go there, hasn't he? So I just picked a number out, and I spoke to a gentleman called Bill. He was actually saying to me, well, I can't be telling you, Rooney's been here, because it's confidentiality. We get that. But have you got much donor hair, can I ask you? And I'm like, no, I've got nothing. And he says, well, all you can do is have a tattoo, son, in his Cockney accent. And I actually thought he was kind of having me on. So I was not rude, but I was like, look, don't take the out of me. So no, I'm not interested. Put the phone down. But he planted a seed, and I was like, tattoo. So obviously I got in Google, not that I were too great on Google. And obviously, I saw like scalp micropigmentation, and they've been doing that since 2003, with Paul Clarke and Simon. So I gave them a little tinkle, and that's how I got into it, But I'd been ridiculed such a lot over the years for my bald head, and the slaphead remarks, and whether I was playing semi-professional football or not, it will go mark slaphead over there, and you take it on chin as a man banter, but then it sort of stays there with you later, So I've got to do something about this. Got to do something about this, and that's how I got into it. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. And so after you've had the treatment, obviously it must have made you feel amazing. What was it about then perhaps that got you into being a scalp micropigmentation artist yourself?
I think really the connection with Paul,
Yeah.
with Paul Clarke at the beginning. I love the guy. He did my first couple of treatments, and we got really close and talking a lot. And Paul was going through different kind of stages of his life, and I think we just hit it off. And I just said to him, I've always been into sort of helping people, feel better about themselves. I used to be a special needs teacher for 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful career I had, and it was only through a spinal injury that I got finished on LL through that. So to sort of see and feel what actually Paul did for me back in 2011, was amazing, and I just thought, wow, could I be involved?
Mm-hmm.
So they actually said, do you want to come and train to do it? Well, come and have an interview first, and all the process, interviews. I hadn't had an interview for about 30 years, quite nerve-wracking at the time, and then it suddenly hit me that, this is fantastic and a great idea, but, I've never touched a bloke's head apart from jiu-jitsu and rugby. So it was a different thing once they said, yeah, you got the job, if you want to start, but absolutely, I wish I could have done it 20 years previous, I tell you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, so glad you decided to do it, because you're an amazing artist, and I think we all love listening to you talk about your experiences at the conferences, and I'm so glad that you decided to do SMP, because you're so wonderful at it.
That's so nice to know. I appreciate that, Caitlin.
Brilliant. All right, well, let's have a chat about our very special alopecia clients. I feel anytime someone comes through the door that's experiencing alopecia, I just really want to help, especially those with, alopecia totalis and universalis. It's, it can be very heartbreaking for those clients. If someone's looking into having scalp micropigmentation with one of those scalp conditions, can you explain to us the important factors that a client would need to consider when choosing the right artist for them?
Yeah, I mean, I always mention, I suppose it's only around probably 10% of my clients will probably come in with alopecia of different forms, and we always start off by learning about each other, sort of like, well, is it the right time for the person to come in and talk about sort of having SMP? Have you tried other alternatives? Is the alopecia still active, etc.? And generally, a lot of people have really done their own work, and through social media, through the doctor, etc. So when it's the right time, it's kind of just giving this kind of thought over to them that, it's not for everybody, SMP. There's different forms like hair pieces, etc. And if they're telling me that, yeah, I've thought it through, I've had a look, I've searched many different clinics, which I always say to, because we're all different, we've all got different personalities. So, very often I'll say, well, there's Bramwood, an hour and a half away, there's Scalp up north, and there's quite a few people who I mention all the time who's got excellent practitioners,
Yeah.
So if you don't click with me, I won't be offended, and they love that. They like that. And it's not like a selling thing, but it's just nice to be honest that there's not just me in the marketplace, but obviously, if you choose somebody else, give me a shout, and I'll let you know my views, etc.
Yeah, that's very kind. Yeah. And what sort of considerations should a client who perhaps has total hair loss, what sort of considerations should they take into account when they are looking at creating SMP? So, obviously we need to think about the design, hairline, back, neck, hairline. What sorts of considerations do you go through with the clients at the initial consultation?
Yeah, there's these take time, you know, and it's great to take time, you know. I always say to people, you know, I've come from a major player back in the day, where we were doing 2 and 3 clients a day, you know, and it was very kind of, for me at 50 when I started, you know, and traveling like 4-hour round trip a day, it was very tiring, but still the passion got me through that. But, you know, you look at it seriously and just say, look, can I just stop that one? Go,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
I've gone off tangent a little bit.
Okay.
What was the question?
All right. Let's ask a different one. All right. Okay. So when we're creating results for someone with total hair loss, these treatments do take a fair bit of time. Generally, if you're treating somebody with total hair loss, how long would you normally set aside for a session, and how can you suggest to keep them comfortable and help them pass the time during a treatment?
Yeah. Great question, and then a very important one as well. Like I mentioned before, I only do 1 client in a day. We used to do 2 or 3 at a time. I find it very important that, you know, I create loads of time, lots of time, not just for myself, but for the client as well.
Yeah.
So I tend to do like the first 15 minutes, and we just getting the colour, the shade right. If it's got totalis, the person's got totalis, you know, it's slightly easier. You're not matching, you know, little areas of hair what's got certain shades of colour, and many different shades, you know. So, you know, I'll be doing like 40 minutes, and then we'll have a 15-minute break. That's good for me, for my eyes, etc. It's good for stretching. A few bits of stretch. We can have some liquids. The guys can get out of the chair, go wander around. If they smoke, they can go outside. I try to get them off of that unhealthy habit, but there you go. So yeah, we do that in stages. If it's just you know, we do that in stages of like kind of 40 minutes, 15 minutes off, and we might go through this for about 5 hours. You know, if it's totalis. Talking about the fade down, you know, what design would you like? You know, do you want how dark? Do you want it? Obviously, I'll be sort of listening, as I have done in the consultation, which might have taken an hour and a half. You know, so we've got a good form set out already, and we've got a goal to aim to. And if the guy's kind of really nervous about it, then obviously I'll be picking a few shades lighter and building up with the density and the darkness as we go along, you know.
So what can you suggest to a client to help them pass the time in a treatment? Do you have something there at the clinic like TV or movies, or do they read? What do your clients like to do?
I smile because, like, I talk for England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales, so they're just amazed. They're just amazed I can talk for 5 hours solid. I come back home and Marie's like, "What's the matter?" I'm like, "I'm shattered." So we honestly, I've probably only met out of 3,000 people I've done, probably half a dozen people what didn't want to talk, and they got their earplugs in, you know. Probably they were fed up of listening to me, I don't know, but no, we had great conversations, and you know, and I find a lot of things out about the person as much as I can in consultation. So if I don't know about anything about their hobby, I'll read up on it, and I'll get interested, and I know I can talk, and I know I can learn more about that hobby they've got throughout their process, you know.
Yeah,
it's nice.
At the end of the day, like, that's what it is. It's all about the connections that you make with these people, and I think when someone is relaxed and having a chat, I feel like that definitely helps pass the time more than anything else.
Yeah. And it creates trust. You know, it creates trust, and 2 ways really. You know, they show interest in what I'm interested in, you know, and I can pass some knowledge over that. I talk ever such a lot about neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. I've been to see Tony Robbins 2 or 3 times. I've done the fire walk. They're absolutely amazed at that. And it's fantastic because then they'll say, can you send me a book, Daz, of Awaken the Giant Within and whatnot, you know, and then we become friends, and it's fabulous. And then obviously as the red's down and they're coming back up and you see a different person, you see a smile come, and then reactions in mirrors, it's quite tearful sometimes, you know, it's quite emotional.
Absolutely, definitely, I can relate. All right, well, you are a great storyteller, Daz. So how about you tell us a story about one of your most memorable transformations?
Yeah, I've got many of those, actually. So I know we've only got a short amount of time, like, but I suppose really there's just a couple what spring to mind. I was over in the USA working, and we got a young guy coming with his mum, and he was getting bullied. Sad story, really. You know, it was kind of the last chance to get things sorted. So they came in with parental consent, doctor consent, and Alopecia Totalis. He had, I don't know how he was getting bullied, because I'm only 5'4", 5'5", kind of 11 stone wet through, but this guy was like 6'4", and he got size 14 boots, and I'm like, I'm the half of that. And he got a really deep voice as well. So I even had to look up to him. He was kind of like, you know, but he was a young guy, and but he wouldn't look at me, and he wouldn't associate, nothing. And so it took me quite a while to gain his trust, and yet again, from his mum, find his interest out, and he actually liked skateboarding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no way, skateboarding, man. I used to be the school champion at skateboarding, you know, and as everybody knows, you know, I don't like telling porkies, but boom, you know, we got that connection straight away. And his mom still gets in touch through various means and tells me, you know, it's changed his life. He doesn't get bullied. In fact, he's one of the in guys now, and they thought he was so brave to come and have SMP, you know, and fantastic story, you know. And then the other side of one more story, because I know we've got a limited time. I just done two guys treatment sessions, and then I got a guy walking about 5 p.m. and got his peak cap on, sergeant in the USA Marines or something. And long story short, he went and shaved and whatnot in the restroom, came back in, he was like, yo, Brinner, he's got nothing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do you know how long this is going to take me? You know? And obviously I've been in clinic since 9 o'clock, and it was 5:30 by then, and I said it'll take me 6 hours. And tears come to his eyes, and he said, I'm back in Afghan with the Marines in 2 weeks. I just don't know what I'm going to do now if you can't do it.
No, just to get it
bit
done.
tear-jerking moments and art rendering. So we did it, and we had a break at half time and went to Starbucks and had a nosh up and come back in, and we finished at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And then obviously came back for his second session the week after, the same process, 3 clients, you know. But that's the dedication, the passion, and I suppose the experience, you know, of not just being able to do SMP, but to know the needs of your client, and how serious it is sometimes. It's life-saving, you know.
Yeah.
So 2 nice little stories there.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Daz. And thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us today and sharing your experience and tips and tricks and thoughts on helping alopecia clients. I really appreciate that.
That's lovely. You know, it's been great talking to you right from the other side of the world.
I know.
Fantastic. And I so wish, you know, we'd have been at Meeting the Minds this weekend and all being having a laugh. But I suppose, you know, we look forward to that in October and go and meet up with Damien and everybody. It'd be great. I can't wait.
Yep. And we still get to see each other anyway. So this is brilliant.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you, Daz. So thanks for being a part of our 5-minute fast facts on scalp micropigmentation, the Pro Artist series. I'm sure you've helped someone out there, Daz. So thank you so much for your time. And if you have any tips, if you have any questions or comments, we want to hear from you. So don't be shy. Make sure you give us a call or an email or pop something in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out on any of our latest content. And we hope to see you soon. So thanks, Daz.
Take care. Thank you. Bye.